If you guys want to ask questions through the YouTube stream, if possible, that would be easiest for me. Oh, I just wasn't talking. I'm going to turn off my heater. Hold up. What's up, Madhav? Yeah, audio is fine. I just wasn't speaking prior to. Yeah, welcome everyone. You like thick keyboards? I don't know. I have a pretty cheap keyboard, honestly. What's up? What am I doing on what?
YouTube comments? Are you doing it from there, or are you doing it?
Yeah, I'm watching both.
Okay.
Alright. Please explain high liquidity run. Alright, yeah, give me a minute. Reading some other questions. Can you try to teach one more thing, like using a fair value gap? If you don't know how to use a fair value gap after my video, I would watch the ICT 2022 mentorship, because just understanding what a fair value gap is not really going to help. You have to have some context of other things. What time frames are on my chart? If you look right here, you'll see it 60, day 15. All right, do I trade non-farm payroll? No, I don't trade prior to non-farm payroll. Trade after it. Watch list. I mean, you can see my watch list here if you want. But those are the main ones. How to use midnight open and 8:30. I kind of already have one, and that's actually planned for the next few videos. How do I know which higher time frame PD arrays will cause a reversal or order flow and bias? Just focus on, don't try to watch everything, just focus on the PD arrays that catch your eye most. A lot of people, that's just fair value gaps, old highs and old lows. But if you focus on everything, then you're just going to get overwhelmed and confused. I don't use IPDA lookbacks currently. Video on cross-currency analysis. Yeah, you just use futures to pair currencies. You show us a top-down analysis? Sure. We'll go hop over here. So here's an example, right? So if you've seen in my chat in Discord, watching oil, right? So the main thing I'm looking for on oil is when we run into a previous premium array, right? Or sweep an old high, right? So if you notice, I had this marked out on my other one, but it didn't show up. What do we have here? We sweep a previous high, move lower. What do we have when we come back here? Reach into a premium array. That gives us setup. Here we sweep this high into premium array, displace, and then I posted this one earlier this week, right? Fair value gap. So you can take trades off this, or sweeping into a PD array. That's like your turtle soup opportunity or inducement. But so like, let's say we're looking at it today. What do we have? We have a sweep of a previous high into an order block or PD array. And I drop down to the hourly chart, right? What do I have? Hourly sweep. So these are just sell stops or buy stops, my bad. Buy stops, drop down to the 5-minute chart. And if we go take a look right here, London sets high a day. Can, use the change in state of delivery or market structure shift, whatever you want to do. Where do we return? We return up into here. No, we missed that just slightly. So then secondary entry, taking that intermediate term high. And then either taking a trade here. Could have my stop here. I'd have it at least over the fair value gap, but on that high. And then for me, targeting down here, right? Why is that? Well, let's hop back out to the hourly. That's our new week opening gap, right? You've seen that on my chart. I showed it. But that's like an example of top down, right? And this is aligning with what? The higher time frame, right? Going bearish. So then if you hold runners, right? You see it's already moving down. I'm looking for this to run down to here, right? So that's an example of top-down analysis for you. I'm gonna clean this up a little. All right, let me look at some questions I missed. Yeah, I'll go over how to use opening price. That's the daily profiles. That's what I use. Umar, you should probably watch the ICT 2022 mentorship. I have B adjust turned on for my NASDAQ charts. It's just how I have it turned on. So you can see we haven't taken these highs. If I turn B adjust off, you'll see we're over those highs. I just have it turned on personally. Do what works for you. Yeah, so I mean, with Forex, it's like if I'm trading EU, GU, then I use Euro GBP for relative strength, right? I use futures to pair currencies with each other. Is that a box set up on oil? I'm assuming you're talking 5-minute. Yeah, it is. You could take that. What are you talking about there? Let's see. I don't trade the Silver Bullet AM session example. Just a video I made. But basically what that's doing, if you want to trade that a lot better, focus on the 4-hour open high low close. Forms at 10 a.m. Right? So when 10 a.m. opens, right? Do this real quick. When 10 a.m. opens, we get a new 4-hour candle, right? And so if we're bullish, right, we're going, it's probably a better example on ES today. Yeah. But if we're bullish, we're going to get open, low, high close, right? So marking out the opening price here. Give me a second. Right? Then I drop down to a lower time frame, like let's say even 5-minute, 1-minute. We put in this low, displace higher, right? Then I'm trying to catch this expansion till when? Well, the high of this candle, which ideally I want to see put in, if you split it up into about 4 hours, 1 to 2 p.m., right? So in through lunch, I want to see open, high, low, close. Right, that's kind of just the example. See how that's just expanding higher. But go back here. Okay, let me get some other questions. It adjusts for contract rollovers. So if I pull this up, right? See how we get a contract rollover here? And it jumps up. All BAdjust does is moves that together, which I prefer personally. All right. Let's see. How do you use inversion fair value gaps for entries? We'll go with oil yesterday. So example here. Let's go ahead and replay this. Oops. I don't really care to do that. Right. So if we're going to have our daily candle here, right? A little context to it, London sets low at day. We get this expansion higher. We have a higher time frame narrative breaker. Down to our 5-minute. We retrace into that breaker. Fast forward too far. But here we reach into a PD array. Now we displace higher. Here we have a fair value gap. Gets closed over. That can be an entry. And then I personally put my stop on the low here. We can have it somewhere in there. Prefer the low. And then, you know, if you want to target day one or buy side here, or, you know, anywhere in here, whatever you choose to target, right? There you go, right? That's an inversion entry. Let me just get my charts back to how they were. All right. I mean, if you're struggling to see the MMXMs, you just have to practice a little longer. And stop searching so much for a trade, let it come to you. Because if you're just always in these lower time frames for a chart, like looking for a setup, probably not going to be there. But if you notice on my chart right now, there's not even my entry time frame. I'm focusing on the higher time frames. So here I have my 60-minute chart is my like biggest chart, right? Daily. This is for my daily profile, just on the side here. For example, you know, just go into here. This is one I actually took here. Don't worry. What's there? Give me a minute. There's the big drop down, so right here. So for example, right, we have narrative, daily candle, open, high, low, close, expecting it to go lower before it puts in a close, right? Before it forms the low. We already have a reaction out of this fair value gap. So there's an opportunity. So if we went to the 1 minute, you know, you could possibly trade this, right? I personally didn't. Go back to the 15. Here we have fair value gap, low, drop to the 1 minute. Here we get the reach into that, and we get aggressive out, back down. So if you want to use the change of state of delivery, box setup, whatever you want to do, right? If we're going to use the box setup, use there or there as entries. Personally, this one makes more sense to me just to get in, but I'll do it how I did it. Waiting for a close below here. There we close below, and then you can just enter right here. Can put my stop on the lower sell or up there. Personally here to make the risk to reward make sense for my target on the low. And then if you want to project out, right? I personally use those series there, but you can also just use those and see how they overlap. So 2 to 2.5, -4 right in there. That'd be like the final target. And then we put in the low of the daily candle to come back in, like a TGIF. But on the daily candle, that's all like TGIF is the open, high, low, close of the weekly candle. But that is an example. Once you get past all-time highs, you just use generated sell side and buy side. So like for example today, right? Say we're at all-time highs, just don't worry about the rest of the price section on the left. London drops down like this, right? Leaves failure swings. We get a New York reversal. Well, there's your target, right? There. So like I'd still personally want NQ to run higher here. But it already took these failure swings here. And pretty decent AMD if you were a London trader. But all right, let's hop back out, look at some questions. Anton, just a strategy alone won't make you profitable. If you actually watch Nick's video, his class he did last night, that will probably help as well. How do you decide which pair to trade if you have 3 potential setups? I mean, my setups are based off the daily chart. Like I'm looking at the daily chart to see if I look lower, right? So if I don't have a reason to be looking lower in here, then I don't generally. If I do, then look at the hourly daily profile. Like a good example is like oil, right? This is something I actually want to watch because my daily setup, right, reaches back into a premium, sweeps the high into a PD array. It's like all I want, then reach lower, right? And then the next thing I'm going to be looking for is this candle here. If we close below it, and then the mean threshold of it. Right? Because generally what I want to see is this close below and then retest into the previous day's range, then go lower. But it's also NFP, so like I personally don't care. It could just go rip through these lows, which is fine. I focus on session highs and lows, previous day's highs and lows. It's in my video. Can you explain what's going on in the NQ chart? I kind of just did, but you notice this is previous day low. Right? Previous day low and drop lower. Failure swings at the high. New York reversal. So then can be looking for something down here. I don't really like that type of setup, the low risk sell there. So then I'm just looking for the order block here. So then if I'm going to be taking something, it looks something like this. Up on that low. Targeting here, 2R. There. And like that. I don't really care for the day or Thursday before NFP. The giant candle on my charts. If you go into the Discord and look at the indicator section, let me pull this up. You go into the indicator section in the Discord, pull that up. It's just in here and then it's linked right there. So that is at the bottom of the Discord. Let's see. Trade after, I'll watch after the news. Alesso, watch my video on important liquidity levels. I use FX replay. I can throw a link of that if you want in the YouTube. Let me grab it for you. And there's some discount codes. How do I use bond yields? Well, I use them in correlation. Let me pull up my side screen. Like, generally look for SMTs or relative strength between bonds yields, right? It'll be opposite, right? And SMTs can tell you a lot. I don't know, that's more advanced stuff. Euro USD didn't continue lower off the 2.5. Sure. I can take a look. There's daily. I mean, this is not something I'm personally looking to trade just because of the daily profile. Doesn't make sense. I mean, we do have open, like, we're gonna move higher. I prefer to see this, right? The timing is kind of wrong here. This is a retracement into this previous range here for a continuation higher. But you said you're looking for lower 15-minute fair value. I'm not sure what you are talking about. I personally prefer to play the day after we reach into here. A lot of times. I'm a little confused on what you're asking. My experience managing trading in college, all that. Well, that's what I've been doing the last few years. It was mostly like managing your time, and then luckily I was able to like pick a good schedule, which left New York open every day for me. I'm 2 hours behind New York anyways, so as long as I'm, after 10 in the morning, I'm chilling for New York. Yeah, EU is not super interesting to me here. I prefer to see what we do in here and prior to NFP. But let's go out to the monthly real quick. Yeah, I'm kind of just waiting for us to get out of the yearly. We're inside year. So really it's like, are we going to draw to this high or this low? The yearly. And we're kind of in the middle of that range, so I'd rather wait till we get out of a consolidation, because that's all we did this last year is we just consolidated. Right? This might look like a lot of movement, and like, yeah, it's good daily movement, but like, look at this yearly price action in comparison to something like this, right? As for why, I'm not sure which 15-minute fair value gaps you are meaning here. I mean, even if you took this one, you got 2R. If I was trading this, I'd personally be looking more so for this there. I don't need like a whole massive move. Someone was asking about up here. So this is just like an indicator template I make on TradingView. I can sort through stuff quickly. So if you notice, I have my candle up here. I want it just blank, I can do that, right? Here is my sessions and time. So then it will just throw up the sessions and the time. This will just be the time. Here's my open, high, low, close, and the time. Here's some boxes of the sessions. And then I have the weekly candle. And I have a few other ones, but those are the main ones I use, so I star them, so they're up here. That's why I'm able to just switch between normally that one there and that one there. I think you should have some mechanical aspects to trading strategy, but in the end of the day, like, it's a lot of discretion on the daily time, or like whether or not you, or what you're looking at, right? If you're just going to take every single trade regardless of context, you're probably going to get wrecked, right? Because you can frame something both ways almost all the time, right? Like, for example, if we returned to earlier this week and we had an open like this that reaches up into a previous PD array, right? This is going to sell off, right? But that's if we have the context of being in a different time, right? Right? When we're trending down like this, expanding down, any sell higher, speaking of which, we just go up here, right? Reaches a little higher, but this 930 sells off, right? Where's the next 930? We can go look. 930, reach higher, that just sells off, right? But the context isn't there on the daily chart. We've already had two big sell-offs, or like huge sell-off day, kind of a consolidation slash sell. And then we come into this day and we're prior to non-farm payroll. I'm not expecting a whole lot here. So then, you know, oh yeah, it might work. And then you realize that it's actually just going to go higher, right? And then you get that close and you realize, and that's where you can offset a position. But okay, let's see. If I'm missing questions, I'm sorry. Let me pull up. Nick is here for the companionship. Yeah, he is. Here, I just tagged the indicators channel. No, I'm not going live. I don't trade PM. Yeah, it's going to stay free for time being, at least. I don't really want to do anything paid right now. But yeah, US, I don't know how to pronounce that. US. I don't watch the PM session. There's very few times that I'll like watch the PM session. That's if we get in like a very one-sided expansion, then I will consider it. But New York is what I do, because then I have Asia, London, and I can predict movements based off of that. The indicator, it's if you look in the Discord or tag me, I can get that. Oh yeah, I mean, here's the thing about this, right? Is if we're going to get that New York reversal, right? I would have preferred this to be in New York, not like have London make up this whole range, right? You see that? See how London's range is literally like this whole thing, right? Large London range. What does New York do? Kind of consolidate, right? If we had London do something like this, where, you know, Asia does this, London kind of makes failure swings, trolls up, then into here, we make this high, then I'm more interested into that. If that makes sense. It's just like London makes this whole range. That's the main thing I'm saying. Then you look at this, what do? Well, we go back to a discount of the range. Now we have a new range. What do we do when we consolidate? Consolidation is just a move from discount to premium, premium to discount. Oh, and we have a new range. Where are we going? Probably right there, right? And that's where you get your little like pennant or whatever they call it, right? The same thing if you draw out OTEs, anything like that. I prefer New York session. That's all I trade. Favorite pair, NQ. But lately, I can pull it up on. Well, if you just look at my last tweet today, it kind of explains my opinion. Yeah, glad to help Anton. If NQ inverse and fair value gap, but didn't inverse. I don't really focus on that sort of thing, but the one thing I do focus on is, for example, showing that 15-minute setup. Where was it? Is a 640, 645 was the. I don't even know where we were. I just remember 645. Maybe it was one of these. I can't remember, but if there's an SMT within the fair value gap, then I look at it. Let me actually take a look here. Yeah, so like right here, right? That's why I remember it. Maybe 645 was a different one. But when we have this fair value gap here, right, and then we switch over to ES, if you look at the same spot, right, we don't reach into a fair value gap there. Same time. See that? 1345. We leave this open. So then what is this between this high and this one? That's an SMT. So now we have an SMT on a lower time frame, and it'll make more sense if I go down here. Because all this high is right here is a lower time frame high. So like if we go to a 1 minute, you'll see candle went down here, up, then back down. But if we go back and forth, ES is not gonna cooperate. But we'll just actually hop down. We go to a 1 minute here, see that high there. And then let's see if we go to January, Tuesday the 2nd. We'll just replay. Right, so you can see that same high there never got touched, so that's an SMT. You can tell that from the 15-minute chart. Like you don't even need to go down to the 1 minute here to see that SMT. Hopefully that kind of helps. Yeah, I can talk to TFO about that. Silver is what gold correlates with. London kill zone, I just do 2 to 5, but then mainly like 3. But I don't trade London, so I don't really have like a great opinion on that. I don't have like actual experience with it. I've traded London like 3 times when I was living in South Africa for a little. Kind of already made that video. I shared it in announcements. Yeah, have a good one, Harley. But yeah, I don't know what else there is to go over. There's not very many more questions. I'll probably hop off soon. I just was pretty bored, honestly. Yeah. So the move I'm generally trying to catch, this is a good example here on oil, is this expansion, right? From there to wherever the daily candle is, but like you decide when it's enough, right? So here you can see London high a day. Once we get into New York, we just get distribution. Like I'm preferring to just get in here and then have my invalidation. I do use weekly profiles. Anthony, if you go into the Discord and into the indicators section at the bottom, it is in there. That will be the easiest way to grab it. Yeah, that's my kill zone, Manju. Let's see what's going on. Looks not very fun now. Yeah, so SMT on the high. Gotta fix this all up. I do use midnight for the power 3 indicator. That's how I do it. I haven't really messed with watching it the other way, but it's gonna be relatively same. It's just gonna change where we're starting a little bit to the left. But I personally use midnight. Is every BSL a buy stop? I answered this question earlier for you. I focus on important session highs and lows, or previous days highs and lows, stuff like that. But yes, there is buy side and sell side liquidity resting above highs and lows. I don't really have a whole lot of bias on NQ right now. That's why I'm not gonna like say much. Because if we hop into our daily chart here, what do we have? Large expansion, sell off. Now we're doing nothing. What I would like to see is, now that we've already reached back into kind of equilibrium of this range, is see how we close. If we close inside here, then I'm going to be looking for, we have a little fair value gap there, but use that as move higher to there with no wick, right? So ideally, I'd like to see price reach for here, depending on candle closes and what we do. But it's also NFP, so I don't care to speculate on that. Personally, you guys can do what you want. But the indicator that shows the candle on the right is if you go to indicators. So going back out of the daily there. My entry is not as important for me. It's more so the context behind it. Like when I have the daily, let's go back to oil because it's the best example. When we have the daily, this is the daily PD array, hourly, sweeps the previous day high. I don't really care what my entry is in here, right? Like a lot of people will be like, oh, I need to get super precise, whatever. Like here's my mindset behind it. Let's say I take an entry, super, like just on this fair value gap here. I stop on this high, targeting in there. Okay, 2.43R. Let's just say I have a random entry somewhere in here. 2.64R. Do I really care what my entry is in here if my context, my invalidation is all correct? Like not really, personally. Right? And that's how I see it. Right? The 5 minutes a little easier. Right? What if I just enter in here and stop on this high? Right? Versus entering at a peak up here. Like, yeah, got a top tick entry. Cool. Doesn't, it's why it's like, that's why I say entries are the least important part for me personally. Discount premium exists on all time frames. I personally focus on like the daily and hourly for discount and premium. Right? So for here, right, we have lots of different ranges. You have this range from here to there, but personally, I'd be focused on this range because sweep into a previous range, premium of this range, displays down, back into a premium of the range, back into a premium of the range, and I'd be looking for lower, right? Now if we go down to this time frame, we're going to have displacement down on the hourly. So if I'm looking for another range, let me get rid of these. Well, where's my other range? Well, now I have the daily candle is essentially a new range. Right? Like let's say we go down to here. We're not always going to retrace to a premium, but is ideal. Maybe at some point. I don't really feel the need to live trade right now. I'd prefer to just chill. Let's see. When will you do live trading? Not sure. I mean, I don't really care to. Everything works in all time frames. It's all fractal. I prefer the daily hour 5 just because of how it lines up with the daily profile. Yeah, Nick does go live on the 19th. That's TFO's kill zones and pivots indicator. So go to my time. I didn't want to do that. If we go to kill zones and pivots here, right, then it will, well, hourly, that one's the settings are messed up, but that's how I get it. So. Where? He will probably do it in the Discord or on his YouTube. Oh. How I'm expecting to do 2024 better. I don't know. I don't really have like monetary goals and stuff like that. It's more so like stuff that I do every day. Because if I can improve every day, then those goals end up better anyways. And monetary goals aren't super fulfilling. Fulfilling. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. Yos, if you look into the announcements channel or Nick's channel, it's all in there. But yeah, this is like when I hop off. There's like I don't sit on the charts past this time. You can use UK oil. What's the end goal for T trades? I don't know. Let's go. Have a family. Like I don't know. Have a family. I'd say that's my end goal. I mean, you can monkey reproduce. Yeah. Yeah, I want to have kids. I don't live stream very often. This is the first time I've live streamed since like December, November. Yeah, you can ask for a chart. I can take a look at it. I don't really like to call stuff out for people. Not a huge fan of that. Because then you're right, cool. You're wrong, and people just yell at you. And if you're not getting paid, they're yelling at you is not worth it. I'll tell you, know what I mean? What do you think opportunities are going to be like this year going into indices? I think stuff's going to be pretty good, mainly because take a look at DXY here. Just like Euro USD, what have we got here on the 12-month? Inside year, right? So if we can actually do something on the yearly chart, that's a lot of movement on the lower time frame. Think about all the movement we had last year on DXY, and that's that. So if we actually get like an expansion candle or something And then it will be pretty good. Ideally, dollar up. That way when we go to other countries, you know, it's worth more. Yeah, I actually kind of like that. Just a monthly high, weekly. It kind of depends. We need to violate this fair value gap here. But I don't really like how shallow it reached into there. And we're reacting off the mean threshold of that. I don't know. I don't really, I'll be honest, I don't think too far out. Like I'm not like really generally predicting the monthly chart just because I'm trading the 5-minute chart. Like, yeah, it will base off some of my trades, but if I was executing on the hourly chart, then probably. If you just start in the extra EDU section and then you can just go down from there. Hold up, I'm responding to someone in the Discord. I mean, I don't really do a whole lot of macro analysis, to be honest, but I think seasonality is good. Interest rates, yeah, those affect bonds and yields, right? So then that has an impact. But if you're just watching bonds and yields, you kind of get that. I'd prefer not to stay inside the range on the yearly chart. I feel like that's not fun. I don't really focus on a certain entry model. I kind of already said that. But let me grab some water. See ya, Alexandra. Daily profiles, that is coming. Let me see. I gotta make videos. I've been kind of lazy. I'm planning daily profiles for, hold up, like Marchish. Because for daily profiles, you have to understand midnight. Then you have to understand open, high, low, close, open, low, high, close. Then you understand daily profiles. Then you get into the different types of profiles. So it's like there's a few, what is that? Pre-requirements. I don't do mentoring right now, no. But mostly I'm focused on NQ most of the time. Nice, that change. I like NQ, it's a little more fluid than ES. But yeah, looks like quite a few people left the live stream, so we won't keep it much longer. I'm not seeing any other questions. So I'll go ahead and hop off for the day. But I will see you guys another time or just in chat. Yeah. Hope you guys have a great day. Don't do dumb shit. And you'll be good. Wait, Nick, I had accidentally had desktop audio muted. You gotta say see you guys now so you end up on the YouTube.
I'll see you guys later.
There we go. All right.